Hey fellas, I've been plugging away at the privateer and it's going slow, but I'm taking my time with it because this kit and conversion kit requires taking your time with it, at least for me anyway. But it's going pretty well. This video is kind of long and it may be boring for some of you that aren't interested in building this kit, but for those of you that are, it might be kind of helpful. And this episode basically covers how I'm taking care of the clear parts for the side blisters. And it seemed kind of daunting to begin with, but once I got into it, it really wasn't that bad. So I do show you some other parts, and I've got the cockpit area almost completely done. I do show you this at the beginning, but at that point I didn't have the windows cut out, so I got those all cut out, and I think they look pretty good. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to put glass in here, but you know, one step at a time. So let's get on with the video. All right, I've got the nose section basically done, and I went ahead and attached the extension, the 7-foot extension, and I did it the same way I did the front, in that I glued some styrene pieces. You can't hardly see them in there, but I glued styrene to the styrene strips to the cockpit area. And then I came back and mated this up with the 5-minute epoxy. And then I came in with the area that I had right here that was missing either styrene or resin. I filled that in with my 2-part Magic Sculpt. And this dries really hard. It's similar to Milliput, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you know what I'm talking about. But it's a nice hard filler. And then I sanded and got everything somewhat smooth. And then I came back with my magic filler of choice, which is the CA glue and metallic pigment. And I filled in some areas, and I wanted to make it all smooth, so there's still some spots like right here that I think I need to work on a little bit more. But I kind of filled in areas where I'd sanded a little too far and made a concave surface. So I came back in and filled those and sanded, and I'm still kind of working on it. What I'm using for this are these Infini sanding sponges. And they've got like a hard little strip in between, but they've got sponges on either side. And I've got them in 200, 400, 800, and 1,000. So 220, 400, 800, and 1,000. And they really work wonders on stuff like this. So what I'm doing is I'm just coming in and using the sponge and making sure everything's smooth. And I still got a little bit more work on this, but I'm also going to have to probably do some more sanding when I get to this point too. So I'm not, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect just yet, but it still needs a little bit more work. What I've started to do is I'm going to figure out where exactly I need to place these. And according to the manufacturer, I think he had posted, the manufacturer of the resin kit, he had posted on one of my videos to go ahead and glue in the windows, because this is normally just a big open part. And it comes with this, the monogram kit comes with these plastic windows that you glue in. So I went ahead and glued those in and used sprue glue and got those all filled in, because this is going to go, I believe, like somewhere right around here. I still have to double and triple check, but so I'm going to have to cut that out. But if I were just to leave that hole, I'd have a lot of filling to do, and it's just not going to look right. So I went ahead and glued those in, sprue glued them, and then on this side, I went ahead and I've started sanding them smooth. So I got a nice smooth surface in which to find out where I need to put these, do an outline, and then I'll come in with a Dremel tool and start cutting my shape. And then once I get close to the shape, then I'll start filing away. And what I intend to do is push this out from the inside and leave a little bit of lip. I'm not sure if it's going to work yet, but I'm hoping. And that way it'll give me a nice area to glue this down and have it nice and secured in the fuselage. Now I'm still going to have to build all the stuff on the inside, so that's going to be a lot of scratch building. But you know, with all this sanding, I think that'll be a kind of a joy to get to that part of it. So that's what I'm working on now. I have started working on the wings, getting those flush, and I've got this top part pretty good. I still need to do a little bit more work on the front of the seam, and I need to do a lot of work on this resin part. And like I showed you before, there's lots of dimples. And I was thinking maybe I might try to sand these out. But then I also got the idea, I do have some resin, if it's not gone bad. You see on the bottom here, there are all these little dimples. It's pretty rough. So what I may end up doing is mixing up some resin and brushing it on and then sanding it off so it kind of acts like a filler. What I don't want to have to do is use like a regular putty like this, because when I go to scribe my lines, everywhere where that putty is filled in those spots, it's going to rip it out when I use my scriber. So I want to have a material that's consistent with the resin. And so I think I'm probably going to, I may try that, see how that works out, but I will let you know. I'm going to get on with sanding and trying to find where I need to put these, and the next thing I'm going to do is cut these out, and then as soon as I get the bubbles in, then I'll be able to close up this fuselage and then attach the front part, and I should be on my way to victory, hopefully. So, see you in a bit. Okay, fellas, well, I'm in the process of working on the wings, and what I ended up doing was taking, and I don't know if it's gonna work, but I ended up taking some clear resin, and I mixed a little bit of coloring with it, and mixed it up. This is hard. And I ended up just painting it over the top of the wings to try to get rid of those holes. So then what I'll do is I'll come back and I'll sand this smooth, and hopefully I'll have gotten rid of those little dimples that were in the top of the resin. So I'm going to let this set up a little bit longer and make sure it's good and hard, and then I'll sand it away. I've already done it on the bottom of this one, and it looks like it's going to work. So well, we'll see. The Urco ball, or the Urco waist turrets, the side blisters, I've cut those out, and what I found is one of these they're not exactly the same. One of them, I guess because of the vacuum forming process, it was on the edge or something. And this one's kind of a little bit wider than this one. So I ended up having to label them. And so this is the left side, and I've got the left turret in there, or the left blister. And then I've got the right one over here. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to cut out this opening that you see right here, where the guns stick out. And what I plan to do, cut this out and then insert a little bit of plastic card and glue it from this side, so I can kind of get that little, I assume that's kind of a metal, like a metal strip that goes in there, and then I'll just drill holes where the guns can stick out. But I've got two pieces of tape that are the exact same width and the exact same length, and I got them on there just about where I want them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off around these areas. I'm going to drill a hole here, and then I'm going to cut straight across and file and try to get those even. So that's what's on deck now. That's what I'm trying to do. But these fit in here. I left a little bit of lip on the blister. If we can see that, you can see kind of the lip. And that way I can put them on the inside and glue them right there, so I don't have glue everywhere. But this is going to be all painted, so I'm just going to have 3 windows right along the top, and I'll just mask those off and paint it that way. So you won't be able to see any glue anyway, but this will give it a nice secured foundation for it to sit. So I'll probably glue that in with 5-minute epoxy, and that should be good. So that's where I'm at, and I'm gonna get those cut out and we'll see how they turn out. Okay, so I've got these masked off. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to drill a hole on either end. Hopefully this works. Okay, so I've got my holes drilled. I'm going to take a fresh X-Acto blade. I'm going to come in here and connect them. And I'm probably not going to get an exact cut or an exactly straight line. I'm going to try to kind of as if I'm scribing. I'm just going to retrace my cut. Hopefully I don't cut my finger underneath. But I'm going to have to, I'm sure, come in here with a file and straighten this out. It might help if I put it down like this. Now I don't want to put too much pressure on this. And I'm trying to cut just inside the tape to give me a little extra room. Not want to force anything. Almost like it's thicker right here. All right. Okay, now I'm going to take a file. I don't know if one of my big files will fit in here. Maybe it will. Oh yeah. So then I'm just going to come in here, file it down. I know I've got a little bit of a bump right here. Let's file that down. And just even this out. I'll be able to get a better idea how straight it is after I peel off my tape. Okay. Yeah, the bottom needs a little bit of work. So now it's just going to be a matter of getting this evened out with a file, and we should be good to go. All right. Okay, so let's bring up the left side, and then that's going to fit in here just like so. And I can just glue that in. Now I still got to make the inside part, so I'll just glue that on there just like that. And then I've got my opening for the gun ports. And I think that's pretty close. I can live with that, fellas. So I'm going to get on with the next one and get that one cut out. Hopefully it goes just as well. Okay. Well, I've got both my cutouts made, and I think it might need a little bit more cleaning up. They're not perfect, but they're pretty darn close. And this one seemed to have cracked just a little bit right on the end here, but that's going to be covered, hopefully. So what I'm doing now is I've got this real thin styrene. It's 0.01 millimeters. So it's real flexible. It's almost like plastic paper. And I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm just going to cut a strip. You can see how easily this does. And I could probably slice all the way through it, but it didn't. So what I'm going to end up doing is marking this. And I'm going to attempt to glue this in here just like so. I'm going to have to do some cutting. Looks like right here on this end. I'm going to have to kind of angle it down so it'll match the contour. I could probably put tape in there and that would work just as well, but it's gonna have some texture to it, and I think this will look better if I can get it to work. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because again, a lot of this is going to be covered in paint, so I'm only going to have 3 spaces up here on top that are going to be visible. So I mean, I don't want to put a big sheet. I want to kind of keep it limited but still have enough area to glue. So I think what I may do is fix this in here so I don't distort the plastic. Oh boy, this is gonna be a bad deal. So I think I'm gonna take some CA glue. Let's kind of rough this up. So, yikes. See how easily this bends. Damn it, son of a gun. So we kind of got at least one edge that the glue will stick to. So let's take a little bit of thin CA. Now I'm not worried about this fogging up because I can wipe it out. If it was enclosed and I wasn't able to get to the part that fogs up, it'd be a different story. Okay. I'm not sure I thought this through real well, to be honest with you. Okay, take my glue looper. I just want to kind of get this tacked into place for now. Okay, so let's come along here. Drop some CA in the top. Try something. I'm going to come along with some kicker. I think this is going to work. I think. We'll find out. So now I'm just going to come along. See, so this is going to be the top. So I want to just put enough in there to seal it up. But not get everywhere. And this is thin CA that I'm using, so it's gonna hopefully run along that join. All right, now I'm not gonna mess with this anymore. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll go ahead and do the other one, and then we'll see how strong it is. I am gonna have to punch 2 holes through it, but I'm not gonna do that till I get the inside parts done, so I can line up the gun barrels where I need to put the holes. So we're gonna leave it as it is. Maybe throw some kicker along there. Okay, so that should be good to go, hopefully. But when I drill my holes, I'll drill them from the inside, so I don't push that out. So, and that's how I'm doing that.